automation is a gift given by nature to our mind. Because if we have to focus our attention and energy on every small thing we do, then we would go mad. It's going to be a big drain in energy. So some things are automated. You see, our brushing of the teeth is automated. You see, we don't carefully brush the airport, especially when we are just awake. And our driving to work, if it has been done for more than, say, a month, it is automated. And when there is a red light, stopping in a red light has become automated for us. You see, because it's all wired. But then it has the flip side also. The flip side is most of the decisions should not be automated. Na? And in project management, they call something called as an activity trap. Activity trap is continuing to do an activity because nobody questioned why it was there in the first place. And generally people say, that is what we do, that is how it is, this is how we have been doing. And we continue doing. There are many cases where the whole system changed, but yet they continued with the activity. A good example I read when I was in school, we used to get a book called Reader's Digest, you see. And it used to have a lot of funny things there. I still remember that. And there is a column in Reader's Digest called Humor in Uniform. I don't know if they still continue that and all that. But that was very significant. I remember that now. There used to be a army barrage or whatever you call it, camp. And the two cadets were supposed to paint the red lines around that march ground. And while taking the pail of paint across that marching ground, one of the cadets drops the pail. And in army, he dropped the pail. I don't know which country he belonged to, but he dropped the pail. They were completely terrified. Then that person said, quickly get another pail of paint. And they took another pail, they painted all the corners, and then there was a splash in the center. So they made it into a nice, lovely square, so that at least if people want to obviously see it is a spilled paint. These two cadets were transferred out, and after 20 years, they came back as some lieutenant or whatever. And then they found that center square was neatly painted every year because they thought it is also part of the system. So every year, whether the corner is painted properly or not, central square is properly painted. Nobody ever questioned why it is there for the first. You see, it's called activity trap. We did something which made sense in the past. It is not something stupid which came into our being. It made sense in the past. But if you don't question most of what we do day in and day out, then that becomes a little bit of sub-intelligence, suboptimal intelligence, because that's what is called activity trap. It just continues. And a spiritual example is given by our Swamiji. There was a mutt, okay? And in the mutt, they were supposed to do meditation and attain Bhagavan. And generally in the mutt, people were like that. And all the Mathadhipatis were pretty sharp there. It's an hypothetical mutt. Resemblance to anything and all is purely coincidental. It is not what we are trying to do. It's just a fable. And that mutt head sat down, he did dhyana, he attained. Then he nominated a Sishya, who, his disciple, who also did tremendous service to him. He also tried to meditate. But when he was trying to meditate, there was this little cat which was running here and there. Meow, meow. And when this cat was running here and there, he was tremendously disturbed. And his personal assistant was watching him. The cat is running disturbed. Cat is running disturbed. Then he thought, if the cat keeps running like that and I'm disturbed, the best way for me to focus on my attention is to somehow put the cat in its place. So he asked his assistant, go and tie it in that pillar immediately. So the assistant took the cat, made a nice collar of the cat and tied it to the pillar. And now cat didn't run around, so he could able to do the dhyana, he attained. Then the personal assistant became the guru now. So he sat down to do dhyana. And obviously, he didn't know why he was not able to do dhyana at all properly. Then he thought, then he thought my guru also couldn't do dhyana properly. And so he decided, what did my guru do when he didn't do dhyana properly? Oh, he tied a cat. So he asked his assistant to go buy a cat. And then he tied him the same pillar and said, Ade strap, Ade length. Sampradayam. Abdi vechta. And then the cat was tied. And then, because of that placebo effect or whatever effect, he attained. Now, his assistant was watching all that. And he watched his guru, he watched his guru's guru also. Then he realized, my guru's guru tried to do dhyana. And he tied a cat, then he attained. My guru did dhyana. He couldn't do dhyana. So he bought a cat and tied it. Then he decided, why should I do dhyana? Buy a cat and tie it. Tying the cat has become You see, that's the activity trap. Day-to-day life, things which made sense earlier may not make sense now, which is the reason why I need to be careful when I start analyzing or observing, not analyzing, observing what am I actually thinking right now, what is guiding my decision making, etc. Otherwise, we would be continuing to do this type of a choice making, etc., based on a dead past, which is no longer relevant right now, and we are caught in what is called as an activity trap. I'm doing it because that's how it's being done, you see. And that transformation happens when we do consciously.
And let's count our blessings and make every blessing count. Have a great day.